Unless you live in a cave in an obscure desert far away from civilization, chances are that you would have come across this. In milk, fruit juice, biscuits, bread, in cooking oil, and even in water, etc. Food labels provide important information about the nutritional content of packaged foods. Understanding how to read them can help you make informed decisions about what you eat. Not many people understand what the hell those informations denote or means, and I bet you don't too. That's why I made this video. Welcome. Here are the key elements of a food label and what they mean. 1. Serving size. This tells you the recommended serving size of the food and the number of servings per container. 2. Calories. This tells you how many calories are in one serving of the food. 3. Nutrients. The label will list the amount of important nutrients like fat, carbohydrates, protein, and fiber in one serving. It may also list vitamins and minerals. 4. Percent daily value. This tells you how much of your daily recommended intake of a nutrient is in one serving of the food. For example, if the label says a food has 10% of your daily value of fiber, one serving of that food provides 10% of the recommended daily amount of fiber. 5. Ingredients. This lists the ingredients in the food in descending order by weight. When reading food labels, keep the following tips in mind. Pay attention to the serving size. If you eat more than one serving, you need to multiply the nutritional information by the number of servings you consume. Look for foods that are low in saturated fat, trans fat, sodium, and added sugars. Choose foods that are high in fiber, vitamins, and minerals. Be aware of serving sizes and portion sizes. Just because a food is low in calories doesn't mean it's healthy if you eat too much of it. Overall, reading food labels can help you make informed decisions about what you eat and can help you maintain a healthy diet. Additionally, here are some more tips for understanding food labels. Look for whole foods. The fewer ingredients in a food, the better. Try to choose foods that have whole, recognizable ingredients rather than highly processed foods with a long list of unpronounceable ingredients. Watch out for health halo terms. Terms like low-fat, gluten-free, and organic can be misleading. Just because a food is labeled as organic doesn't necessarily mean it's healthy. Be sure to read the nutrition label and ingredient list to get the full picture. Be cautious of serving sizes. Serving sizes can be confusing, and they can vary from product to product. Be sure to pay attention to the serving size listed on the label and compare it to the amount you actually eat. Understand that the percent daily value on a food label is based on a 2,000 calorie diet. If you eat more or less than 2,000 calories a day, your daily values may be higher or lower. Use the percent daily value as a guide, but be aware of your own individual needs. Don't forget about the ingredients list. The ingredients list can tell you a lot about a food. Look for whole ingredients, and be wary of added sugars and artificial ingredients. In summary, understanding food labels is an important part of making healthy food choices. By paying attention to serving sizes, nutrients, and ingredients, you can make informed decisions about the foods you eat and maintain a healthy diet. The recommended daily allowances, RDAs, for men and women of various nutrients can vary depending on age, activity level, and other factors. Here are the general RDAs for adult men and women. 1. Protein, men, 56 grams per day. Women, 46 grams per day. Examples of protein-rich food are eggs, meat, soy, and beans. 2. Carbohydrates, men and women, 130 grams per day. Examples of carbohydrates include wheat, maize, rice, potato, etc. 3. Fat, men and women, 20 to 35% of daily calories from fat, or 44 to 77 grams of fat for a 2,000 calorie diet. 4. Fiber, men, 38 grams per day, women, 25 grams per day. Sources of fiber include fruits and vegetables. 5. Vitamins. Vitamin A, men, 900 micrograms mcg per day, women, 700 micrograms per day. Vitamin C. Men, 90 milligrams mg per day, women, 75 milligrams per day. Vitamin D. Men and women, 600 to 800 international units, IU, per day. Vitamin E. Men and women, 15 milligrams per day vitamin K. Men, 120 micrograms per day, women, 90 micrograms per day. 6. Minerals. Calcium, men and women, 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams per day. Iron. Men, 8 milligrams per day, women, 18 milligrams per day, until age 51, 8 milligrams per day, after age 51. Magnesium. Men, 400 to 420 milligrams per day, women, 310 to 320 milligrams per day. Potassium. Men and women, 2,500 to 3,000 milligrams per day. Sodium, men and women, less than 2,300 milligrams per day. It's important to note that these are general guidelines, and individual needs may vary based on factors like age, gender, activity level, and health status. Consulting with a healthcare provider or registered dietitian can help you determine the specific nutrients and amounts that are right for you. Here are the recommended daily allowances, RDAs, for some nutrients for individuals of various age groups. 1. Protein. Infants and children, 1.1 to 1.5 grams per kilogram of body weight, depending on age. Teen girls, 46 grams per day. Adult men, 56 grams per day. Adult women, 46 grams per day. Pregnant women, 71 grams per day. Breastfeeding women, 71 grams per day. Carbohydrates, infants, 60 to 130 grams per day, depending on age. Children, 130 grams per day. Teenagers and adults, 130 grams per day. Fat, infants, 30 to 40% of daily calories from fat. Children and adults, 20 to 35% of daily calories are from fat. Fiber, children, 19 to 31 grams per day, depending on age. Teenagers, 38 to 40 grams per day, depending on gender. Adults under 50, 25 to 38 grams per day, depending on gender. Adults over 50, 21 to 30 grams per day, depending on gender. 5. Vitamins. Vitamin A. Infants, 400 to 800 micrograms mcg per day, depending on age. Children and adults, 900 to 3,000 micrograms per day, depending on age and gender. Vitamin C, infants, 40 to 50 milligrams per day, depending on age, children and adults, 15 to 120 milligrams per day, depending on age and gender. Vitamin D, infants, children, and adults, 400 to 800 international units, IU, per day, depending on age. Vitamin E, infants, children, and adults, 4 to 15 milligrams per day, depending on age. Vitamin K, infants, 2 to 2.5 micrograms per day, children and adults, 90 to 120 micrograms per day, depending on age and gender. 6. Minerals, calcium. Infants and children, 200 to 1,300 milligrams per day, depending on age, teenagers, 1,300 milligrams per day, adults under 50, 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams per day, depending on gender, adults over 50, 1,200 to 1,300 milligrams per day, depending on gender. Iron. Infants and children, 7 to 18 milligrams per day, depending on age, teen boys, 11 milligrams per day, teen girls, 15 milligrams per day, adult men, 8 milligrams per day, adult women, until age 51 18 milligrams per day, adult women, after age 51 8 milligrams per day. Magnesium. Infants and children, 30 to 400 milligrams per day, depending on age, teenagers, 360 to 410 milligrams per day, depending on gender, adults, 310 to 420 milligrams per day, depending on gender. Potassium. Infants and children, 400 to 3,000 milligrams per day, depending on age, teenagers and adults, 2,500 to 3,000 milligrams per day. Sodium. Infants, 120 to 370 milligrams per day, depending on age, children and adults, less than 2,300 milligrams per day. Calorie needs vary based on age, sex, body composition, and physical activity level. Here are some general guidelines for daily calorie needs for different groups. 1. Children and adolescents, Boys 2 to 3 years old, 1000 calories per day. Girls 2 to 3 years old, 1000 calories per day. Boys 4 to 8 years old, 1200 to 1400 calories per day. Girls 4 to 8 years old, 1200 to 1400 calories per day. Boys 9 to 13 years old, 1600 to 2200 calories per day. Girls 9 to 13 years old, 1400 to 2200 calories per day. Boys 14 to 18 years old, 2000 to 3200 calories per day. Girls 14 to 18 years old, 1800 to 2400 calories per day. 2. Adults, sedentary women, 1600 to 2000 calories per day. Moderately active women, 1800 to 2200 calories per day. Active women and sedentary men, 2000 to 2600 calories per day. Moderately active men, 2400 to 2800 calories per day. Very active men, 800-3000 plus calories per day. It's important to note that these are general guidelines, and individual needs may vary based on factors like muscle mass, metabolic rate, and overall health. Consulting with a healthcare provider or registered dietitian can help you determine the specific calorie needs that are right for you.